Scientists have warned that an intensifying El Nino is driving global temperatures toward record highs this year, with the phenomenon's delayed impact expected to establish a new all-time high next year, regardless of current outcomes.
과학계는 점점 강해지는 엘니뇨 현상으로 인해 전 세계적으로 올해가 관측 사상 가장 더운 해가 될 가능성이 커지고 있으며 엘니뇨의 영향이 기온이 반영되는 데 시차가 있는 관계로 이런 올해의 기록 경신 여부와 상관없이 2027년에 다시 새로운 역대 최고 기온 기록이 세워질 수 있다고 경고했습니다. It's already hot.
Yes.
It's going to be hot again next year?
Next year, that's what scientists are predicting because, of course, El Nino is a phenomenon where weather patterns change. You know, the winds, sea surface temperatures across the Pacific Ocean are changing. But what scientists are saying is that the effects of El Nino don't come immediately. There's a sort of a lag. There's a delay in it of several months. And so what we're seeing right now, there's a probability that's much higher. It used to be about 12%, but they've adjusted it upwards to up to 69% that next year we're going to see new heat records happening. But like you said, it's already been hot. There have been extreme summer heat waves across Europe, the Americas. Here in Korea, of course, we saw record highs down in Yangsan of 42.5 degrees. So it looks like next year is we're going to see similar things.
Exactly. 올해도 뭐 굉장히 더웠지만 올해가 이제 가장 더운 여름으로 기록될 가능성이 굉장히 높습니다. 근데 내년에는 아마 올해보다 더 더울 수 있다. 이 가능성이 점점 커지고 있다는 얘기고요. 데이터들이 계속 업데이트가 되고 있기 때문에 바로 한 달 전까지만 해도 이렇게까지 뭐 내년에 그렇게 더울 것이다. 올해가 가장 더울 것이다 하는 그 정도의 가능성이 있진 않았지만 불과 몇 주 사이에 이게 많이 바뀌었네요.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Let's have a look at the delayed impact of the El Nino phenomenon.
Right. So the result or the consequence of something doesn't happen immediately, but appears sometime later in the future. When I mentioned there's a lag in something, right?
A lag. lag라는 것 자체도 이제 뒤처진다라는 의미를 가지고 있는 명사인데요. 동사로도 lagging, if someone is lagging behind, 이렇게 I'm lagging behind라고 얘기할 수도 있겠고요. 근데 그거랑 비슷한 의미죠. Delayed impact라는 것은 지연된 영향. 그래서 엘니뇨 현상이 지금 올해 여름에 나타나고 있지만 이것의 영향이 내년에 나타날 수 있다. 올해 말에도 이제 내년에도 계속 그 영향을 볼 수 있을 것으로 예상을 하고 있습니다. And when we talk about regardless of current outcomes, what are we talking about?
Yeah, regardless, it means basically no matter what. If there's something that's happening, no matter what the conditions are or what the circumstances surrounding it are, the result is always going to be the same.
I think there's a Westlife song that starts off with no matter what they tell us or something like that.
So regardless of what they tell us.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
그래요. Regardless of something, no matter what. 이거는 이제 무엇에도 상관없이 누가 뭐라고 하든 어떤 상황이든지 간에 이런 뜻인데요. Regardless of current outcomes. 현재의 상황이 어떻든 간에 내년에 엘니뇨 현상의 지연된 영향으로 올해보다 더 더운 여름이 예상이 된다. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Scientists have warned that an intensifying El Nino is driving global temperatures toward record highs this year, with the phenomenon's delayed impact expected to establish a new all-time high next year, regardless of current outcomes. Okay, let's move on to the second headline.
Heavy rains have pounded Korea's southern regions, triggering at least 125 damage reports in South Jeolla province alone, while setting a new August precipitation record in Mokpo with 66.4 millimeters of torrential hourly rainfall.
남부지방에 강한 비가 내리면서 전남 광주에서만 총 125건의 호우 피해 신고가 접수됐고 목포에서는 시간당 66.4mm의 폭우가 쏟아져 8월 중 시간당 강수량 역대 최고치 기록을 경신했습니다.
Yeah, the south got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
because all these damage reports affecting homes, commercial buildings, even the infrastructure, roads, basements, vehicles were all affected. Mokpo, like the headline suggested, saw a record August precipitation record with 66.4 millimeters of rain at an hourly rate per hour. So that's a lot of precipitation in a very short period of time. We were talking about last week how the southern regions were experiencing major drought. So this did help in a way, but it almost came too much at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's going to extremes. So
Exactly.
let's hope that these regions can recover very quickly from this. Officials did issue these heavy rain warnings and advise residents to avoid travel because of dangerous river conditions.
폭우로 인해서 이렇게 도로가 침수되고 주택도 마찬가지고요. 뭐 나무도 쓰러지고 이런 상황이 남부지방에 일어났습니다. When we talk about heavy rains, we can say it hit a region, it slammed a region. What about the word to pound?
Yeah, to pound, P-O-U-N-D, just like the British currency. What I imagine is just, slamming your hand or fist against a table is pounding something. MMA, striking somebody on the ground is called a pounding sort of attack.
Exactly.
Here, so whenever you hit something forcefully, repeatedly, you call it pounding. But here it's used in a figurative sense, of course.
So it's hitting very hard.
Yes.
아주 강하게 때리는 것을 파운딩이라고 하는데요. 이렇게 날씨 얘기, 특히 비, 폭우와 함께 이 때린다라는 뜻의 영어 동사가 많이 쓰입니다. 그래서 가장 일반적으로는 hit, the rains hit 어디라고 하지만 같은 의미인데 조금 더 강한 느낌이죠. pound.
Another example I think of is when you have a very strong headache. You can say that I have a pounding headache for some reason, you say, right?
Yeah.
But nothing's really hitting your head.
Do you ever get those?
I used to. I used to get, I'd have sinuses, but these days, luckily, knock on wood, I don't get headaches as much as when I was younger.
Yeah, all right. Well, that is very good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get migraines, which is
yes.
obviously, another pounding. Not a headache, although it is on one side, but a very painful
it's
thing.
debilitating. Yeah.
It is. You can't really move
Right.
when you have migraines. But anyway, pounding is used for pain as well. 정말 나를 이렇게 내리치는 것 같은 그런 이제 두통이나 편두통 얘기할 때도 pounding 한다라고 말할 수 있고요. 지금은 그러니까 폭우가 어느 지역을 강타했다. 이런 의미로 썼다고 보면 되겠습니다. What about precipitation record?
Yeah. A precipitation is just a fancy word to say anything wet that comes from the sky, right?
Yeah.
Things like rain, snow, sleet, all these would be considered precipitation. And when we say a record, that means an amount that we've just never seen before.
Exactly. 강수, 그러니까 뭐 비, 눈, 우박 이런 거 다 포함이겠죠? 이런 거를 precipitation이라고 하고요. 그다음에 이제 강수량이 되겠죠, 여기서는. 그 기록을 이제 8월 기록을 이번에 목포에서 경신했다는 얘기가 되겠습니다. A new record was set when it comes to precipitation in 목포. And this was for the month of August.
Yeah.
자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. Heavy rains have pounded Korea's southern regions, triggering at least 125 damage reports in South Jeolla province alone, while setting a new August precipitation record in Mokpo with 66.4 millimeters of torrential hourly rainfall.
A powerful magnitude 7.7 earthquake has struck off the coast of Indonesia, killing at least 51 people and injuring dozens more, as collapsed buildings have sparked widespread panic.
인도네시아 해안에서 규모 7.7의 강진이 발생해 최소 51명의 사망자 및 수십 명의 부상자가 나온 가운데 현지에서는 건물 붕괴로 인한 공포가 확산하고 있습니다.
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
Quite unfortunate. It seems like
Yeah.
we're talking about earthquakes, these strong 7+ magnitude earthquakes very often. In fact, last week we were talking about that earthquake in Colombia. But this week, early Saturday morning, a 7.7 tremor struck Indonesia on the eastern side of the country. It triggered tsunami waves of up to 1.5 meters. And at least 51 people dead. Dozens more are considered injured, but it looks like that the rescue efforts are still ongoing. It's been just about 2 days since the first tremor occurred. There have been reports of aftershocks as well. Landslides, power cuts, and severed communication signals are also hampering sort of rescue efforts over there.
Exactly. 지난 15일 아침에 있었던 지진입니다. 7.7 강진에 7.7 magnitude earthquake가 struck off the coast of Indonesia. strike 동사가 여기서 쓰였는데요. 안타깝게도 많은 사상자가 나왔습니다. 사망자만 지금까지 파악된 바로는 51명이라고 해요. 부상자도 수십 명인데요. 영어에서는 수십 명, 그러니까 뭐 tens of 라고 하는 것보다 dozens of를 쓰는 게 더 자연스럽죠.
It does sound more natural. You don't really say tens of something, right? You would say hundreds of something, thousands of something,
Yeah.
but tens, you just don't. You use dozens. A dozen, of course, is 12.
Yep.
But when we say dozens of something, we use it when we don't know the exact number. It could be 24. It could be 48. It could be 36,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. But it's just a figurative way of saying between those numbers.
맞아요. 그래서 수십 명이라고 할 때는 영어에서 dozens를 쓰는 게 더 자연스러운데 그렇지만 만약에 수십만 명, 수만 명 이럴 때는 tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands 그럴 때는 이렇게 쓰죠.
Yeah, tens of millions, you
tens
can
of
say as well.
millions.
Yeah.
그러면 수천만 명이 될 텐데요. 그럴 때는 쓰지만 수십 명, 수십 번, 뭐 수십 개 할 때는 영어에서 dozen을 쓰는 게 더 자연스러워요. 물론 dozen은 12이라는
Yeah.
뜻이기 때문에 two dozens 그러면 24,
Right.
three dozens 그럼 36이기 때문에 숫자상으로는 조금 이상하게 들릴 수도 있죠. 이제 한국인 마인드로는. 그러나 이제 그렇게 생각하지 말고 이게 그냥 수십이다 생각하시면 돼요.
Yes.
So injuring dozens라는 게 이제 수십 명의 부상자가 나왔다는 얘기고요. And this has sparked widespread panic.
Yeah, when there's this massive sort of fear, anxiety that's happening to a large group of people, we say there's panic, but it's also widespread, so it's affecting a large group in a large area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
widespread는 널리 퍼져 있는 panic는 우리가 외래어로도 많이 쓰지만 그런 이제 큰 혼란, 공포 이런 것을 말하죠. 그래서 widespread panic라고 하면은 아주 많은 곳에 영향을 미치고 있는 대대적인 혼란을 얘기하고 있습니다. 공포 그런 분위기가 지금 확산하고 있다라는 얘기로 볼 수 있겠죠. All right. So let me read this one more time. A powerful magnitude 7.7 earthquake has struck off the coast of Indonesia, killing at least 51 people and injuring dozens more, as collapsed buildings have sparked widespread panic. Let's move on to the next headline.
Italian police have successfully recovered 3 paintings by Cézanne, Renoir, and Matisse, valued at over $10 million, that were stolen from a private museum near the northern city of Parma back in March, in a rapid heist that took less than 3 minutes.
지난 3월에 이탈리아 북부 도시 파르마 인근의 한 사립 미술관에서 3분도 채 안 되는 시간에 도난당했던 세잔과 르누아르, 마티즈의 그림 3점이 이탈리아 경찰에 의해 모두 회수되는 데 성공했습니다. 이 그림들의 가치는 도합 $1,000,000 이상인 것으로 알려졌습니다.
Yeah. So Italian law enforcement suspect that 2 masked burglars entered this private museum through a window and carried out their act in less than 3 minutes.
I know.
Got away with these 3 masterpieces worth more than $10 million. Cézanne's Still Life with Cherries was valued at $7 million. Renoir's Fish, $3.5 million, and Matisse's Odalisque is about a mere $23,000.
Compared
we
to
say
the other
here.
ones.
Yeah, compared to the other
Mere.
ones here. So the investigators are mum on the exact details of how their investigation and how they recovered these
Right,
pieces, but nonetheless, it's back into the owner's hands, it seems.
지난 3월에 있었던 도난 사건이고 몇 달이 걸렸죠. 지금은 드디어 회수가 됐습니다. 이 세 점의 작품들이 각각 뭐 가치는 조금 다르기는 합니다만 그래도 이제 도합 우리 돈으로 한 147억 원의 가치가 있는데요. 어디서 발견이 됐을까요? It was discovered in a house. I guess they say because these artworks are so famous,
Yeah.
it would have been very hard to sell it anywhere because people would know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the stolen one, you know.
Yeah, so it appears, investigators probably were tipped off about the whereabouts of
yeah.
these stolen goods. Yeah.
네, 그래요. 그래서 한 주택에서 발견이 됐다고 합니다. 그리고 이제 그때 도난 사건이 있었을 당시에 뭐 몇 가지 물건들을 이제 급하게 나가느라고 아마 좀 두고 나갔었나 봐요, 도둑들이.
yeah.
그래서 그런 것에서도 조금 어떤 힌트를 얻어서 결국은 물건을 찾을 수 있었다라고 합니다. Okay, this was all this theft all happened at a private museum.
Yeah, private as opposed to something that's public, right? Something that belongs to or is intended for one specific person or a small group of people as opposed to the general audience.
So private and the opposite would be public. 지금 설명해 주신 것처럼 뭐 사적인 것이 될 수도 있겠고 여기서 말하는 것은 미술관이니까요. 사립 미술관이 되겠네요. 그럼 만약에 공립미술관, 국립미술관이면은 그러면 public museum 해도 돼요?
Or depend on, yeah, absolutely. Public museum, or you can, if it's, depending on the jurisdiction, you could say it's a national museum.
그렇죠.
Right?
national museum이라고 할 수도 있겠고, 아니면 뭐, state-run museum, maybe.
Right. It depends on where the funding comes from.
Right,
So if
right.
the funding is from a private donor, for instance, then it's private, or if it's a government institution.
그렇겠네요. 네. 나라에서 운영하는 것이면 뭐 national이라고 붙겠지만 그 외에는 또 이제 그 행정구역에 따라서 이름이 붙을 수도 있겠고 지금 같은 경우에는 사립미술관이니까 private museum. 자, 그리고 3월 달에 있었던 요 도난 사건 3분도 채 걸리지 않았는데요. It was a rapid heist.
Yeah. So if we break this down, a heist, H-E-I-S-T, would be a theft, possibly a robbery that happens very quickly in a very short period of time. In this case, 3 minutes. So it's a heist, but it happened very rapidly.
Rapid, 매우 신속한, heist, H-E-I-S-T, 강도 범행입니다.
Yeah. There's that famous drama. Was it Money Heist? I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
heist. Basically, when you steal something, it's a heist.
I don't know that drama, but
Yeah, no.
But there are many movies based
Yes.
on heists, like Ocean 10, 11, whatever.
12, 13, 14,
12, 13,
yeah.
They're all about heists,
Yes.
aren't they?
So it's usually these planned out, very meticulous sort of operations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
자, 네, 사전에 면밀히 이제 준비한 것으로 이렇게 파악이 된다라고 하는데요. 정확히 어떻게 어떤 과정을 통해서 이제 회수가 됐는지는 정확하게는 밝혀지지는 않았습니다. 그래서 아까 선생님이 the police are mum on some of the details라고 했어요. 그래서 MUM, mum이라는 게 이제 이 부분에 대해서는 말을 안 아끼고 있다라는
Yes.
얘기죠. 그냥 모든 정보를 다 공개할 수는 없습니다.
Yeah.
네.
They don't want to give their secrets out.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
네. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Italian police have successfully recovered 3 paintings by Cézanne, Renoir, and Matisse, valued at over $10 million that were stolen from a private museum near the northern city of Parma back in March, in a rapid heist that took less than 3 minutes. Here's our final headline.
Dermatologists have warned that spray sunscreens frequently fall short of expected ultraviolet protection due to uneven application while simultaneously carrying critical inhalation risks that can cause lung tissue damage or leukemia.
피부과 전문의들은 자외선 차단제 중 스프레이형 제품이 피부에 고르게 도포되기 쉽지 않아 자외선 차단 효과를 제대로 볼 수 없는 경우가 많을 뿐만 아니라 흡입 시에는 폐 조직 손상이나 백혈병을 유발할 수 있는 심각한 위험을 동반한다며 주의를 당부했습니다.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rethink using these spray sunscreens because
Yeah.
I often use them when I'm on
okay.
vacation because they're very convenient. right?
Yeah.
As opposed to getting it all on your, lotions
Hands.
where you have to get on your hands and you have to wash your hands. But what dermatologists are saying is that these spray sunscreens dry too quickly, right? And they're also difficult to sort of apply thickly, thick and evenly.
Evenly, right.
And usually, especially when you're outdoors, the wind will carry it away, right? And so before it even contacts the skin, let alone these inhalation risks because they're contained in these aerosol cans. And of course, if you spray it around your face, you have the risk of, inhaling it through your nose or your mouth.
Exactly. 이렇게 스프레이형 자외선 차단제를 뿌리는 경우, 특히 야외에서 해변에 가서 뿌리는 경우들이 있거든요. 그렇게 되면은 바람에 의해서 이 스프레이 양, 이 자외선 차단제의 양이 많이 날아가 버릴 수도 있어요. 그렇기 때문에 피부에 제대로 닿기가 쉽지 않고 또 고르게 분포가 되지 않을 수 있고 더 위험한 거는 그걸 우리가 들이마실 수도 있죠.
Yeah.
이걸 inhaling이라고 하는데요. 표현을 좀 보겠습니다. All right, first of all, we're talking about skin doctors or dermatologists.
Yep.
And of course, there are many expectations when it comes to sunscreen, but spray sunscreens could fall short of the expectations.
Right. So you don't reach those expectations, whatever those expectations were. It could be a goal or some sort of standard or basically what was expected or required of something.
fall short of something은 무언가에 미치지 못한다는 뜻입니다. 그래서 기대라는 단어를 제가 조금 전에 썼는데요. 우리가 기대는 요만큼을 하는데 거기에 못 미칠 때 it falls short of expectations 이렇게 표현을 할 수 있겠고 지금도 이제 그런 식으로 쓰였죠. Sometimes these spray sunscreens fall short of expected UV protection. 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있습니다. 자, 그 다음에는 이제 application이라는 게 그게 고르게 바르는 거, 도포하는 것을 말해요. 그래서 uneven application이 결과적으로 나올 수도 있다.
Yeah.
스프레이를 했을 때. 손으로 바를 때는 우리가 그래도 비교적 고르게 바르지만 스프레이는 그렇지 않다라는 거고요. And these can also carry inhalation risks.
Yeah, so if you carry a risk, that means it's inherently some sort of danger or a potential danger or any sort of negative consequence is embedded in that. So these spray sunscreens have this danger of not being used properly here.
Exactly. 그래서 carry a risk라는 것은 어떤 위험성을 가지고 있다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 이게 뭐 여러 가지 뭐 고르게 도포되지 않는 위험도 있지만 뭐 위험이라기보다는 그렇게 되면 제대로 바르질 않는 거니까요. 그런 문제도 있지만 더욱더 큰 문제는 우리가 inhalation, inhale
Yeah.
이렇게 들이마시는 흡입을 하게 되면은 굉장히 많은 위험한 결과로 이어질 수가 있다는 얘기입니다.
Right. So experts actually recommend that if you do use these spray sunscreens,
Yeah.
then do it at least 1 inch or about 3 centimeters away, or just simply use those. I like those sun sticks that they
Yeah.
have these days.
Yeah.
Those are very convenient too.
But again, you want to make sure that you apply it evenly.
Yes.
그래서 선크림, 선스크린 이런 걸 바르는 것을 applying it라고 하고요. 선크림이나 뭐 스틱이든 뭐든 이런 거를 다 이제 통칭 sunscreen이라고 해요.
Yes.
네. 그래서 햇빛을 차단하는 것이니까 그런 걸 다 sunscreen이라고 하고 이제 그런 것들을 우리가 apply it evenly.
Right. And always check the SPF on it,
Yes,
right?
that's
yes.
right. Sun protection factor.
Yes.
자외선 차단 지수가 되겠죠. 보면은 보통 이제 뭐 UV, 그다음에 50, 뭐 이런 식으로 나와 있잖아요. 아니다. SPF 50, sorry.
SPF 50.
SPF 50. 그리고 그게 이제 Sun Protection Factor 50. 이게 좀
Yes.
강한 거죠.
I think that they say at least 30 it should be, but anything
Yeah.
higher, the higher the number, it protects better.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you're protecting yourself from UV rays.
Right.
ultraviolet rays로부터 이제 차단하는 게 되겠고요. 그다음에 이제 그 위험성을 내포한다는 carry risks가 있었는데 어떤 리스크가 있느냐? lung tissue damage, 폐 조직 손상, 아니면 leukemia, 백혈병까지도 유발할 수 있다라고 미국의 피부과 전문의들이 이렇게 경고를 하고 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Dermatologists have warned that spray sunscreens frequently fall short of expected ultraviolet protection due to uneven application while simultaneously carrying critical inhalation risks that can cause lung tissue damage or leukemia. Well, that's it for the 5 headlines this morning with Shane Harm.
Record-breaking torrential rain pummeled Korea's southeastern coastal regions, with the city of Koje seeing a record 124.5 millimeters of rain per hour, a level expected to occur only once every 200 years.
기록적인 폭우가 경남 남해안 지역을 강타한 가운데 거제에서는 시간당 강수량이 사상 최대인 124.5mm를 기록했고 이는 통계적으로 200년에 한 번 발생할 수준인 것으로 알려졌습니다. It rained so much yesterday in the southern regions.
Yesterday in Koje alone, it was approaching 600 millimeters of daily rain. That's the highest level on record. It's never been seen before. And certainly in some areas, like if we go down to Tongyong or to Kadok Island, they were getting 100 milliliters of rain per hour at times. So we had landslides, we had flooding, we had various kinds of damage. Sadly, a landslide in Koje left 1 person dead and 2 injured, and 160 residents down in those southern regions had to be evacuated. It's a very serious situation, and I think everybody is hoping and praying that the rain eases off and that everybody can be safe and dry.
Absolutely. Yesterday, of course, was the long weekend, Monday. A lot of people got the day off. So
Yes.
if we look at the overall extended weekend, about 800 millimeters of rain poured down in this particular region.
Yes.
산사태, landslides, 홍수, flooding, 그 외에도 많은 피해, other damage가 발생했습니다. 사상자도 안타깝게 있었고요. Let's have a look at pummeled.
Yes, if you pummel something or something pummels you, you're hitting. And you're hitting hard and fast. Not just one hit, but repeated hits. So we use this when there is some kind of repeated damage or repeated action on something, always using it in a negative case. So we'll use it for rain, for storms, it could be for blizzards, whatever it is. If it's causing damage and it's weather, pummeled is a very good word to use.
In yesterday's news, we also had a rain-related story, and we saw the verb to pound.
Oh, yes, very similar again, but pound is hitting once, whereas pummeling is hitting multiple times.
Ah, okay. But of course, the image is still hitting very hard.
Exactly, yes.
자, pummel-ed까지 과거 형태로 쓰게 되면은 강타하다, 세게 치다 이런 뜻이고요. 비와 같은, 폭우와 같은 날씨 얘기할 때 hit, pummel, pound, strike 이런 동사들이 많이 나오죠. What about the word to occur? If something occurs, what's happening?
Well, very simply, it happens.
Okay,
And
right.
we often use it for natural phenomenon. For things that are not done by humans, we'll often hear the word occur. It's used a lot. We talk about, an occurrence or something occurring. You'll hear it in the news quite a bit.
보통은 어떤 현상이 나타날 때
네.
something occurs 라고 하는데요. 사건이 발생할 때도 something occurred 이렇게 표현할 수 있습니다. 여기서는요. 이렇게 시간당 124mm의 비가 내리는 이 현상이 보통 200년에 한 번 발생할까 말까 한 현상이라는 뜻으로 쓰고 있습니다.
Oh, Sue, something just occurred to me.
Oh, okay.
Because this is another use of the word
Yes.
occur, meaning, I've thought of something. I've had an idea or I've had a new thought. Something occurs to you.
정말 많이 쓰이는 용법인데요. 지금 선생님이 쓰신 것처럼 지금 뭔가가 떠올랐어 라고 할 때 something occurred to me right now.
네.
이렇게 할 수 있습니다. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Record-breaking torrential rain pummeled Korea's southeastern coastal regions, with the city of Koje seeing a record 124.5 millimeters of rain per hour, a level expected to occur only once every 200 years. Now let's move on to the second story.
A study finds that 1 in 8 Korean adolescents eats meals with their parents fewer than 4 times a week, a routine deficit linked directly to higher levels of severe psychological stress.
우리나라 청소년 8명 중 1명은 부모와 함께 식사하는 횟수가 일주일에 4차례도 채 되지 않는 것으로 나타났으며 이러한 가족 식사 횟수의 부족은 심각한 심리적 스트레스 수준과 직접적인 연관이 있다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. Right, so what's happening here?
Well, this is a survey that was conducted over 5 years from 2019 through to 2023, and it was just under 4,000 students that were surveyed. And they found that 12.9% of them ate with their family, ate with their parents less than 4 times a week. And that group who was eating less than 4 times a week with their family, they were reporting higher levels of severe stress in academics, in family, in friends, in finances, in appearance, and in the future compared to the other students who were having family dinners. And it seems like the more family dinners you had, the less stress you felt.
Yeah.
So that's what the survey is showing us, that these levels of anxiety, of stress and depressive feelings were being reduced the more you ate with your parents. So they're suggesting this could be really key to teens' mental health. To a better environment for growing up means better meal times together.
Yeah. I mean, the word 식구, which is family in Korea, actually, if you break it down, the Chinese characters mean mouths that eat together. So
Exactly.
It's basically, it stresses the importance of that family time. And it's quite remarkable that, the stats show the more you have meals with your parents, and we're talking about children, of course,
Yes.
adolescents, every time you have a meal with your parents, the percentage of children that will feel anxious or depressed, that will go down. So there's a positive effect of having a meal with your parents.
Exactly, and it keeps on going. There's a less of an impact each time, but the more time you spend with your family, basically doing things together, having meals together, the better you're going to feel generally. That doesn't mean you're not going to have other problems, but you'll be better for it.
그래요. 2019년부터 2023년까지 약 4,000명 정도의 청소년을 대상으로 조사를 해봤더니요. 대략 전체 학생의 한 13% 정도가 일주일에 4번도 채 이제 부모님과 식사를 하지 못하는 것으로 이렇게 드러났다고 합니다. 이제 맞벌이 부부들도 많고 여러 가지 이유가 있을 수는 있습니다만 부모와 함께 식사하는 횟수가 늘어날수록 스트레스는 12% 줄고 우울감 9% 줄고 또 불안감도 8% 낮아지는 것으로 드러났다고 해요. 그만큼 청소년들, 우리 어린이들에게는 부모님과 식사하는 시간이 단순히 그냥 부모님과 얘기하고 기분 좋은 정도가 아니라 여러 가지 심리적으로 도움이 많이 된다라는 것도 여기서 좀 드러난 것 같네요. 청소년, 우리 children, kids 할 수도 있지만 좀 어려운 단어 하나 있죠.
Yes, adolescent and adolescence. You've also heard teenager, probably. And teenager, adolescent, they basically mean the same thing. Somebody who's in their teens going through puberty. Yep. However, adolescent is the term we'll see used in the news, used in medicine, used in research, as opposed to teenager. Teenager is the more casual, conversational term we use.
When I hear the word adolescence, I think of a child sort of maturing, as you said, going through puberty and, they're becoming, they're going through a lot of change.
Yes.
And so, mentally, they're bound to be quite stressed as well.
And it's the same way that in the news and in documents in medicine we'll use child as opposed to kid. So there are terms we use that are more conversational and terms that are more medical or more official.
그래요. 자, adolescent. 끝에 T가 들어가면은 이제 청소년이 되겠고요. adolescence 끝에 CE를 쓰게 되면은 명사로서 청소년기가 됩니다. 자, 여기서 adolescent, adolescent라는 단어가 나왔고요. 자, 그 다음에는 there's a routine deficit.
Yes.
rather, linked to higher levels of stress if you don't have a meal with your parents often.
Yes, so let's deal with deficit first. A deficit is a lack of something. So here, a routine deficit is a regular lack of something on a regular basis. So maybe daily or weekly or monthly. When we use the term routine, it's for something that's happening again and again and again.
routine something. 우리도 이제 뭔가 루틴이 있다.
네.
이렇게 외래어로 쓰죠. 그런 것처럼 영어에서도 그냥 늘 일상적으로 하는 것이라는 뜻이고 deficit는요. 부족분이에요. 그래서 부족한 무언가. 부모와 식사하는 시간이 청소년들이 부족하다라는 얘기입니다. routin하게 이렇게 부족하게 되면 이게 결국은 psychological stress, 심리적인 스트레스로 이어진다. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. A study finds that 1 in 8 Korean adolescents eats meals with their parents fewer than 4 times a week, a routine deficit linked directly to higher levels of severe psychological stress.
A global temperature increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius will likely expose about 290 million elderly individuals, or 22% of the world's senior population, to intolerable, dangerous heat levels for at least 1 month every year, according to a research published in The Lancet Planetary Health.
국제 학술지 랜셋 플래닛 헬스에 발표된 연구에 따르면 지구 평균 기온이 산업화 이전보다 1.5도씨 상승할 경우 전 세계 60세 이상 인구의 22%에 해당하는 약 2억 9천만 명의 노인들이 매년 최소 한 달 동안 위험한 수준의 열에 노출될 것으로 추정됐습니다. Tell us more.
Well, previous research has concentrated on the young rather than the old. And so this is giving us a better picture because there are age-specific factors involved. We don't just slow down in terms of the speed of doing things. The reaction of our heart, our vascular system is different as we get older. And also our ability to sweat is reduced. And so all these lead to various issues. And the other thing is, some research has been evaluating heat waves by just the daytime temperature. But as we know in Korea, it's not just the temperature, it's also the humidity. And that really amplifies various problems. And if we have tropical nights, there are more problems still. And so South Asia, the Persian Gulf, they're at risk, but Korea is at risk too. And we need to protect our elderly who are trying to survive through summers. And so experts are urging us to do better and basically have more spaces available. So there's places to go overnight that are cool, but also having air conditioning installed in people's homes, if you're elderly, to have access to things like that, to make sure that people can cool down and stay alive.
Yeah, definitely. 그러니까 그동안에는 이제 젊은 층 위주로 이런 비슷한 연구가 진행이 됐다면은 이번에는 이제 노년층이 이 열에 노출이 됐을 때 어떤 영향이 있는가라고 봤더니요. 이 젊은 층보다 노년층이 열에 훨씬 더 취약하다라는 게 아주 확연히 데이터에서 드러났습니다. 열 내성이 다 연령대별로 다르다는 것이 반영이 됐죠. So I guess your capability to cope with the heat, or you might even say heat threshold, if there is such a term, that's different for different age groups.
Absolutely, and it's the same for summer and for winter.
Yes, absolutely. 자, 그렇다면은 이런 열에 노출되는 것을 우리가 보고 있는데요. 노출시키다. To expose.
Yes, to expose someone to something or to be exposed to something means it is revealed to us or we are vulnerable to it. We are made vulnerable to it. So the example, the physical image I have in my head is when it's winter and I'm wearing gloves. If I take my gloves off outside, I expose my hand to the cold, meaning my hand is introduced to the cold and will therefore be affected by it.
그냥 무방비로 무언가에 노출이 됐을 때 to be exposed라고 하니까 장갑을 우리가 끼지 않으면은 우리 손이 그냥 이 추운 겨울 날씨에 노출이 되는 거죠. 그런 것처럼 더운 날씨에 열에 노출되는 것을 to be exposed to the heat, I suppose. 이렇게 표현을 하고요. 그다음에는 이제 intolerable이라는 표현이 나오는데요. What is the word intolerable? intolerable. Sorry.
Yes, it's a hard one to pronounce. Intolerable is the opposite of tolerable. And if something is tolerable, we can tolerate it, we can stand it, we can endure it, we can survive it. If it's intolerable, we can't. It's too much for us. So there is a chance that we won't survive, but we certainly can't endure it. We can't get through it.
tolerable, 견딜 수 있는, intolerable, 견딜 수 없는이 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A global temperature increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius will likely expose about 290 million elderly individuals, or 22% of the world's senior population, to intolerable, dangerous heat levels for at least 1 month every year, according to a research published in the Lancet Planetary Health. Let's move on to the next headline.
The remains of an ancient bridge named after the former Roman Emperor Nero have emerged in Rome's Tiber River as weeks with virtually no rain caused water levels to plunge.
이탈리아 로마에서 수주간 이어진 극심한 가뭄으로 테베레강 수위가 급격히 낮아지면서 로마 황제 네로의 이름을 딴 고대 로마 시대의 다리 유적이 수면 위로 드러났습니다.
Yes, this was an unexpected discovery caused by severe dry spells. So the flow of the water in the river is about half of what it would normally be at this time of year, and that has exposed these stone ruins of this bridge, and which was once a very important bridge because it connected the city centre to the right bank of the River Tiber. So it's fascinating to be able to see this finally and maybe do some investigation into it. It also should be said, though, even though it's named after Nero, it was built before him. It was built by his uncle Caligula and then named once Nero came to power.
Interesting. Dry spells are what caused this, or at least it's what exposed this bridge. Dry spell이라고 하면은요, 건조기. 그러니까 그 기계를 말하는 게 아니라 말하다 보니까 갑자기 세탁기 건조기가 생각나. 그 기계 말고요. 기간.
네.
건조한 기간을 dry spell이라고 합니다. 근데 이게 우리 경제에서도 쓰여요. 그래서 경제 불황기를 얘기할 때도 마찬가지로 dry spell이라고 하면 됩니다. 세탁기 건조기는 dryer. 저도 이제 말하면서 갑자기 생각났어요.
네.
예, 그렇게 헷갈릴 수 있겠네. 자, 그래요. 그래서 이제 dry spells로 인해서 오랫동안 모습을 드러내지 않았던 고대 로마 시대의 다리가 모습을 드러낸 겁니다. 이게 원래는 강 속에 이렇게 있었는데 수면 위로 모습을 드러낸 거죠. You told us about the name, and you said it was named after Nero.
Yes, and if something or someone is named after something or someone else, it means they take their name from them. They were given the name of someone else. So, for example, in the UK, certainly, it's very common for babies to be named after relatives. After fathers, after mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, aunts and uncles. It's quite normal to take a name and to give it to the baby, to have the baby named after that person.
Exactly. To be named after someone. 누군가의 이름을 따서 지은 이름이다 이런 뜻인데요. 서양에서는 특히 본인의 이름에 부모님의 이름이 들어가 있거나 부모님의 뭐 이름의 일부가 들어가 있거나 그런 경우들이 많이 있어요. 그래서
Yes.
예를 들자면은 아버지 이름이 Bob. 근데 이제 아들 이름은 Bob Jr.일 수도 있고요.
Exactly. Or my niece is named after her grandmother, Eloise. So she's taken her grandmother's name. She was named after her
She was
grandmother.
named after someone. 이렇게. 그래서 누구의 이름을 따서 이름이 지어졌다. 자, 여기서는 this bridge was named after Roman Emperor Nero. What about the word virtually?
When we use the term virtually here, it means almost completely, almost 100%. Maybe there was a little bit missing. Maybe it's 99.9, but it's almost completely whatever it is we're talking about.
Yeah, virtually는 사실상 거의라는 뜻이기 때문에 virtually no rain. There was virtually no rain. 그럼 there was almost no rain.
Yeah, there was a little bit of rain,
Yeah.
but hardly any.
거의 비가 오지 않았어요. 이런 뜻으로. Weeks went by with virtually no rain. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. The remains of an ancient bridge named after the former Roman Emperor Nero have emerged in Rome's Tiber River as weeks with virtually no rain caused levels to plunge. All right, let's move on to the final headline.
Scientists have identified a Neanderthal version of a gene that makes the body respond more strongly to growth hormone, resulting in considerably more muscle mass in adults who carry it.
우리 몸이 성장 호르몬에 더 강하게 반응하도록 만드는 네안데르탈린 변이형 유전자의 존재를 과학자들이 밝혀냈습니다. 이 유전자를 가진 성인은 상당히 많은 근육량을 갖게 되는 것으로 나타났습니다. Interesting.
Yes, and it could be amongst our listeners because this is highly prevalent in South Asian and East Asian populations. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Up to almost a quarter of people may have it. It's far less likely to occur in Europe and certainly almost never in Africa. So if you're of European descent, it's unlikely. If you're of African descent, pretty much no chance of that. But there's a 1 in 4 chance you may have this. And this is a really good thing.
아닌 것 같은데 저는. Anyway. But
Well, I know. You're not a muscly person. But when they analysed about 1.1 million adults, what it meant is if you had this Neanderthal variant in your genes, you would have on average 270 grams more lean muscle mass, and you could be about 0.3 centimeters taller than those who didn't have it. So a little more muscle and a little more height. So I think we have to thank our Neanderthal ancestors if we have them.
여러분 중에 혹시 나는 근육이 좀 잘 붙어 이러신다면은 이 네안데르탈인의 DNA가 있으실 수도 있습니다. 근데 이제 실제로는 이제 멸종한 그런 네안데르탈인이지만 그 유전자가 지금까지 현대인의 몸에 남아있다는 얘기예요.
네.
이게 밝혀졌는데요. 영어로는 a Neanderthal version of a gene.
Yes. So Neanderthal referring to those ancient, almost humans. They were species who lived alongside the early humans. We're talking thousands upon thousands of years ago. And if it's a version of a gene, meaning it's a kind of that gene. It's not the same as other genes, but it is of a similar type.
네안데르탈인, Neanderthal. 그래서 a Neanderthal version of a gene, gene. 네안데르탈린 버전의 유전자 변이가 되겠습니다. And if something responds, if your body responds to something.
It reacts to it. Whatever is doing something to us, if we respond, we are reacting in some way. And we often use it when talking about talking. We want someone's response. We wait for someone to respond to us.
그렇죠. 반응하는 것을 to respond라고 하고요. 명사 형태의 반응은 response가 되겠습니다. 다시 읽어볼까요? Scientists have identified a Neanderthal version of a gene that makes the body respond more strongly to growth hormone, resulting in considerably more muscle mass in adults who carry it. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning with Paul Matthews.
The Ministry of Education has announced that the 2029 college entrance exam, which current first-year high school students will take, is set to be held on November 16th, 2028, under a revised format that eliminates elective subjects in the Korean language, mathematics, and science sections.
교육부는 현재 고등학교 1학년 학생들이 치르는 2029학년도 대학 수학 능력 시험이 국어, 수학, 탐구 영역에서 선택 과목을 없앤 개정된 방식으로 2028년 11월 16일에 실시될 예정이라고 발표했습니다. Alright, so this probably hits home more for you than for me because I believe you have a 고1 학생 at home.
Yes.
But do tell us more.
Yeah. So my son will be taking this exact test.
On the 16th of November,
On this-
2028.
yeah, that's right. On
Yep.
November 16th, 2028. So I will be one of the parents praying, standing outside maybe the
Yeah.
test centers,
goodness.
waiting for the test to be over. So it's the 2029 exam. We call it CSAT or College Scholastic Ability Test. And it's a new format. It's a revised format that eliminates elective subjects in Korean, math, and the social studies and science inquiry sections. And the Education Ministry announced that Korean math, social studies, and science will be tested under standardized curricula, while students will choose from 9 subjects only in the second foreign language and Chinese characters section. The Korean section will have 45 questions, math 30, English 45, with 30% of math questions requiring short answers, which is very different from the current format. Students taking the inquiry sections must take both integrated social studies and integrated science, while Korean history will remain mandatory, and the scores will be released about a month later on December 8th, with the Korea Institute for Curriculum and Evaluation scheduled to announce details, test setting guidelines in March of 2028.
Whoa, that's a lot to take in.
It is.
But basically, there's been a revision, a
Yeah.
big revision for current first grade high school students.
Yeah.
자, 그래요. 그래서 특히 이제 개정되는 부분들, 약간의 이제 수정이 있는 부분들은 국어, 수학, 그리고 탐구 영역인데요. 이 탐구 영역을 제가 영어로 여기서 이제 science section이라고 일부러 번역을 했어요. 왜냐면은 이제 science라고 하면은 꼭 자연과학, 과학을 말하는 것만이 아니라
Yeah.
우리 사회도 영어로는 social
That's right.
sciences라고 하고요. 그 다음에 이제 뭐 보통 우리가 생각하는 과학, 물리, 지구과학, 화학, 생물 이런 과목들은 영어로 natural sciences라고 합니다. 그래서 합쳐서 natural sciences and social sciences가 다 the sciences
That's right.
이죠. 그렇기 때문에 여기서 이제 탐구 영역이 그렇게 사탐과 과탐으로 어떻게 보면은 좀 simplify가 되기 때문에
Yeah.
이렇게 번역을 해봤고 현재는 이제 직업 탐구라는 것도 있잖아요.
Yeah.
근데 이제 앞으로 2028년 11월 16일에 시험 보는 학생들 같은 경우에는 수리 영역과 이제 과학 탐구 영역 이렇게 보게 됩니다. 그리고 국사 과목은 이제 필수적으로 당연히 봐야 되고요. 자, 언제 이 시험이 개최되는지 얘기를 하면서 this exam is set to be held at this date.
Right. When something is set to be held, so being held means it's set to take place. And when something is set to, it means that it's been planned or scheduled or is expected to happen. So it basically means that this test is scheduled to take place on such date.
is set to 동사 하면은 뭐뭐 할 예정이다. 이렇게 지금 정해져 있다. 이런 뜻이고요. To be held, to hold something. 뭔가 개최하다의 의미가 있는데 여기서는 시험을 치른다는 얘기겠죠. 그래서 2028년 11월 16일에 현재 고1 학생들이 수능을 보게 됩니다. 날짜가 확정이 됐어요.
Yeah.
And what about an elective subject?
Yeah. So elective subjects are, or as opposed to mandatory or core subjects, which are compulsory for everyone or all students to take, these elective subjects are optional classes that students can choose to take based on their personal interests, career goals, or skills.
mandatory라는 게 이제 반드시 들어야 되는, 반드시 봐야 되는 것이 되겠고 그 반대로 elective라고 하면은 선택해서 하는 거죠. 그래서 elective subjects는 선택 과목이 되겠습니다.
Yeah.
자, 그래서 2029학년도 수능부터는 이제 국어, 수학, 탐구 영역에서 선택 과목이 없어진다라는 핵심적인 내용이었고요. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The Ministry of Education has announced that the 2029 college entrance exam, which current first-year high school students will take, is set to be held on November 16th, 2028, under a revised format that eliminates elective subjects in the Korean language, mathematics, and science sections. Let's move on to the second headline.
A Bank of Korea report reveals that industries highly vulnerable to artificial intelligence account for 94% of Korea's youth employment drop over the last 4 years.
지난 4년간 국내 청년층 일자리 감소분의 94%가 AI 노출도가 높은 업종에서 발생했다는 한국은행 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. Okay, well, this has been the concern for many years.
And we have data to back it up.
Tell us more.
Right. So they're saying that the country's youth employment decline over the past 4 years has been concentrated in industries that are highly exposed to AI. This is according to a Bank of Korea report. They say that of the 285,000 jobs lost by young people since June of 2022, about 94% or 268,000 were in highly AI-exposed industries, while employment among people in their 50s rose actually by 230,000. The BOK found that industries using AI mainly to automate tasks saw greater declines in youth employment, while sectors using AI to augment human workers did not show the same pattern. And they say that since ChatGPT was launched in November of 2022, the average unemployment rate among young four-year university graduates has stood at 7%, which is 1.6 percentage points higher than among those with junior college degrees or less. However, the central bank did caution that AI may not be the sole cause, but could be accelerating broader changes in hiring and work practices.
We have to, of course, look at the other side of the picture as well, because there are new jobs that didn't exist before.
Yes.
That now the younger generation can apply to and work in.
Yeah, the job market is constantly changing.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is one aspect that we do have to look at. Yeah.
Has it been 4 years already since ChatGPT launched?
Yeah.
It feels like only about 2 years, maybe 3, but
It's
okay,
been
wow.
quite a while, but we've
Yeah.
seen so many changes take effect. Yeah.
Definitely. And, so many other AI platforms as well.
Yeah.
Or AI services, I should say. Okay, what about the word vulnerable? So people can be vulnerable, industries can be vulnerable. What is that?
When you're vulnerable to something, it means that you're kind of open to harm or attack or damage. It can be physical or it can be emotional. For example, a vulnerable person or a vulnerable place or a vulnerable thing can lack this some sort of strong protection and can be easily hurt or influenced or wounded by outside forces.
무언가에 취약하다라고 할 때요. You are vulnerable to something 이라고 합니다. 그래서 여기서는 highly vulnerable to AI라고 해서 industries, 여러 산업 분야, 직업 분야 중에서 highly vulnerable to AI, AI에 많이 취약한 그런 분야에서 특히 청년층의 일자리가 많이 줄어들었다라는 것을 알 수 있습니다. What about accounting for something?
So account for in this case was used to mean to make up a portion of a larger group or a total amount.
Something accounts for 94%라고 하면 이것이 94%를 차지합니다. 이런 뜻이에요. So you could say something accounts for 50% and you can change the number.
Yeah.
Account for 몇 %, 이만큼의 부분을 차지합니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A Bank of Korea report reveals that industries highly vulnerable to AI account for 94% of Korea's youth employment drop over the last 4 years.
The average monthly rent in Manhattan has climbed 10% year over year to an all-time high of more than $6,600, driven by a historic housing crunch and looming policy shifts, including an upcoming rent freeze.
미국 뉴욕 맨해튼의 월 평균 임대료가 전년 대비 10% 오르며 6,600달러를 돌파해 역대 최고치를 기록했습니다. 이는 이 지역의 사상 유례없는 주택난에 더해 임대료 동결을 포함한 임박한 정책 변화의 영향으로 풀이됩니다. I had to do a double take.
Yeah.
$6,600. That's about 900만 원 a month.
I don't
What?
make that much a month.
What? Okay, tell us more.
Well, I'm hoping people make more than that a month because it'd be a negative balance for a lot of people.
That's why people have roommates.
Yeah.
Because you want to share the rent.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Yeah, and it would be a tiny place as well because Manhattan is a packed city. So yeah, it's a city with one of the highest rent prices in the world, but it's just gotten higher. So it hit an all-time high with the average apartment now costing a whopping $6,655 a month, and that's a 10% jump from last year, leaving renters with very few affordable options as vacancy rates drop across the city. Experts say upcoming housing policies, including a planned rent freeze on stabilized units and a new tax on second homes, are actually pushing prices up on market rate listings. And meanwhile, they're saying that median rent have reached $5,295, and that's up 6% from last summer, despite leveling off slightly in recent weeks. So overall, it's one of the toughest rental markets that New York City has ever seen.
So this $6,600 roughly isn't on the higher end of the housing market. It's the average.
Yeah.
And even the median, which is like the middle number, is still near that.
It's $5,000, over $5,000.
Still very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
자, 왜 그런지 봤더니 뭐 여러 가지 이유가 있습니다만 하우징 크런치가 그 이유 중에 하나래요.
Yeah.
크런치는 뭐 이렇게 씹었을 때 이게
Oh, it's
아그작거리는
crunchy,
거, 아삭아삭한 거가 크런치인 것 같은데 그건 아니겠죠?
No, it means sometimes we use this expression when we're talking about like, oh, I feel very crunched on time. And that means that you're feeling like you don't have enough time. So when we're talking about a housing crunch, it means that there's not enough homes. So there's a shortage of homes and it makes finding a place to live very difficult and it's very expensive.
So we could just say a housing shortage then.
Yes.
자, 무언가가 부족한 사태일 때, 부족한 상황일 때요. 그 부족 사태를 영어로 crunch라고 합니다. 근데 housing crunch니까요. 주택 공급 부족 사태를 말하고 있고요. And there's also a looming policy shift.
Right.
That means, looming means something's upcoming, it's about to happen, but it's usually negative.
Yeah.
And this is about an upcoming rent freeze.
Right. So looming, upcoming, very similar. So when something is upcoming, it means that it's happening, appearing, or taking place soon.
Yeah. upcoming도 이제 다가오는 건데 조금 더 중립적인 느낌이죠. upcoming 뒤에 there's an upcoming movie premiere. 이렇게 뭐 좋은 소식이 있을 수도 있는데 looming은 다가오는 것이긴 하지만 너무 두려워요.
Negative, yes.
안 좋은 뭔가가 다가오는 이 느낌이 좀 있죠. 살짝 뉘앙스 차이는 좀 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The average monthly rent in Manhattan has climbed 10% year over year to an all-time high of more than $6,600, driven by a historic housing crunch and looming policy shifts, including an upcoming rent freeze. Here's our next headline.
London's record-breaking summer heat has turned air conditioning from a nice-to-have into a deal-breaker for many office tenants, according to the Financial Times.
영국 런던이 올여름 역대급 폭염을 겪으면서 사무실을 임차하고자 하는 많은 현지인들에게 에어컨이 있으면 좋은 것에서 이제는 계약 성사 여부를 결정하는 조건으로 부상했다고 Financial Times가 보도했습니다.
Yeah, it's surprising, but there are a lot of offices that don't have air conditioning in London, but the temperatures have been soaring in Europe. We've heard about the heat waves, the fires that are going on. So it's become a deal breaker, which means that it's something that's not negotiable.
Right.
So during London's record-breaking heat waves, having an office having an air conditioner has shifted basically from a luxury amenity to an absolute deal breaker for a lot of businesses and office tenants. But they say that about 80% of modern offices in London are fully air conditioned, and about 61% of premises in Westminster offer it with older converted buildings in the West End facing major costs and structural hurdles to retrofit these systems. And even where cooling exists, they say many buildings face broken equipment, corporate energy-saving temperature caps, or systems simply unable to keep up with extreme heat. And this is forcing companies to move meetings or even cancel events. And as a result, commercial real estate is seeing a sharp polarization between air-conditioned and uncooled properties.
It's hard to imagine for people in Korea to live in a city, the capital city no less, where some buildings don't have ACs.
Yeah, especially an office building, right?
Yeah. However, in London, there are some very old buildings that are used as office buildings. And so it's not easy to retrofit the ACs in these, 100-year-old buildings, for example. But as you said, the financial district, that, most buildings there, they do have air conditioners, but it's the slightly
older
buildings.
The historic areas.
Yeah, exactly. 런던 안에서도 나름이긴 한데요. 금융 중심지, financial district에서는 한 90% 정도라고 했나요? 네, 이렇게 많은 건물들이
80%.
80%. 네. 많은 이제 사무실들이 에어컨디셔너를 가지고 있지만 또 그렇지 않은 런던 안에 있는 지역들도 많이 있다는 거죠.
Yeah.
특히 오래된 이제 건물이 있다든지 좀 유적지가 뭐 있다든지 이러면은
I mean, if you
힘듭니다.
think about it in another way, it means that up until like pretty recently, they were okay.
Yeah.
So it means the weather has just become unbearable.
맞아요. 왜냐면은 옛날에는 이런 날씨가 아니었거든요, 런던이. 그러니까 에어컨디셔너가 그렇게 많이 필요하진 않았던 것 같고 지금도 주택에는 많이 없습니다. 근데 사무실에는 그래도 설치를 좀 했었는데 이제는 이제 임차인의 경우에는 사무실을 렌팅할 때 예전에는 에어컨 있으면 좋지. It was, nice to have.
Yeah.
It was a nice to have.
Yeah.
명사로 썼어요. 그 있으면 좋은 하나의 조건이었다면 지금은 it's a must have.
Yeah, it's a must have.
A deal breaker.
Yes.
이건 반드시 있어야 된다. 근데 deal breaker가 뭐예요?
Yeah, so deal breaker, that means if it's not there, we're not going to sign. Yeah, so it's a non-negotiable. It's something that we will not, that we will not negotiate. So if it's not there, we're going to look for a new place.
Okay. So deal, 계약, breaker는 깨지게 하는 것. 그래서 다 좋은데 에어컨이 없어요? 안 해요. 우리 다른 건물 갑니다.
Yeah.
이렇게 그거 자체가 에어컨이 있느냐 없느냐 그 유무가 이 임차인의 입장에서는 임대를 하느냐 안 하느냐의 결정적인 요소가 되어버릴 정도로 런던이 너무 많이 더워졌다. 그 얘기를 하고 있는 거고요. 자, 이런 임차인, 사무실 임차인을 영어로는 office tenants.
Yeah, tenants. So in this case, I mean, you can be a tenant renting a home, but an office tenant would be a business or a person that rents physical office space in a building.
그래요. 그래서 집을 구하는 그런 임차인을 다 테넌트라고 하는데 지금 이 스토리에서는 사무실 임차인을 말하고 있기 때문에 office가 붙어요.
Yeah.
Office tenants. 그리고 보통 집 주인은 landlord라고 하죠.
Yeah.
자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. London's record-breaking summer heat has turned air conditioning from a nice to have into a deal breaker for many office tenants, according to the Financial Times. Now let's move on to the final headline.
Divers exploring a shipwreck off the English coast of Dover have discovered a 162-year-old bottle of Guinness dark beer or stout, which researchers in Belgium are currently analyzing to see if it is still drinkable and to potentially recreate its historic recipe.
영국 도버 앞바다에 가라앉은 난파선을 탐사하던 중에 162년 된 기네스 맥주가 발견돼 현재 벨기에 연구진이 이 맥주를 아직 마실 수 있는지와 1860년대 당시의 맛을 재현할 수 있을지를 알아보기 위해 분석 중이라고 합니다. Okay. It would be amazing if you could currently drink this 162-year-old stout.
Yeah, so it's an intact bottle of Guinness from 1864, and they discovered it inside a shipwreck off the coast of Dover. They do have plans to recover additional buried bottles from the site. They're saying that they are analyzing samples from this stout to extract its DNA and potentially recreate the original 1860s recipe. I think, I'm not sure if I could, even if it is drinkable, I don't know if I want to drink the 162-year-old stout, but if they are able to recreate the original 1860s recipe, I am all in. I would definitely want to try it. And they do say that if seawater hasn't penetrated the cork seal over the past century and a half, they say that, it might be drinkable.
그래요.
Yeah.
지금 이게 intact라고 하셨어요. intact라고 하면은 부러지거나 망가지거나 모양이 변형되지 않고 원형 그대로 그냥 멀쩡히 있다. 이런 느낌이거든요. 그래서 이게 코크 마개가 있긴 한데 그 안에 바닷물이 들어가지만 않았으면 정말 162년 전 상태 그대로일 수도 있어요. 아마 그대로는 아니겠지만 뭐 세월의 흔적은 좀 있겠지만.
Probably hasn't spoiled.
아, 그렇죠.
Yeah.
네. 그게 이제, 상하거나 이러지는 않았을 수 있고, 뭐 좀 맥주가 어떻게 발효가 되나요? 시간이 지나면 어떻게 되는지 잘 모르겠네.
It's already been. So that's why they're saying that if nothing has penetrated it, it should be drinkable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. A bottle of beer. 그러니까 맥주 병을 발견한 거예요. 자, 흑맥주, stout라고 합니다.
Yes.
자, 그 다음에는, it says currently, people are analyzing it.
Yeah, they are doing it right now. So it's an action, state, or condition. So this word, it shows that this condition or action or state is true at this very moment.
Currently는 부사인데요. 현재라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 형용사로서 current 하면은 이제 지금의 뭐 현재의가 되겠지만 currently and then it says here analyzing.
Yeah.
그래서 현재 분석 중이다.
They're doing it right now.
What about drinkable?
Drinkable means that a liquid is clean and safe to swallow, or you can also say something is drinkable when it's good enough in flavor to enjoy.
네, drinkable은 마실 수 있는 이라는 뜻이고요. 또 다른 표현으로는 potable 이라고 하는 것 같아요.
Yeah.
많이 안 쓰지만.
Yeah.
drinkable이 있으면은 또 eatable도 있겠죠. 근데 사실 eatable은 잘 안 쓰고요. edible 이라고
yeah.
합니다. 그래서 먹을 수 있는 것은 edible, edible. 마실 수 있는 거는 drinkable. 일상적으로 많이 씁니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Divers exploring a shipwreck off the English coast of Dover have discovered a 162-year-old bottle of Guinness dark beer or stout, which researchers in Belgium are currently analyzing to see if it is still drinkable and to potentially recreate its historic recipe. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning with Karen Choi.
The Korea Development Institute has upwardly adjusted its growth forecast for the country's economy to 3.2%, attributing the revision primarily to higher than anticipated global demand for semiconductor products.
한국개발연구원 KDI가 올해 우리나라 경제 성장률 전망치를 3.2%로 상향 조정하면서 예상보다 강하게 나타난 글로벌 반도체 수요를 이번 수정의 주된 이유로 꼽았습니다. Okay, well, any adjustment going upwards is good.
Yeah, I think for the most part.
Yeah.
And it is up to 3.2%, which is up from the previous estimate of 2.5%. So it's actually a significant increase of 0.7. It's quite large, actually. And the semiconductor demand is definitely what is pushing this trend as of late.
그래요. 무려 0.7%포인트나 상향 조정을 해서 지난 예측 전망치는 2.5% 성장이었는데 이번에는 올해 경제 성장률을 3.2%로 상향 조정하면서 이렇게 내다보고 있습니다. 그 이유는 아무래도 semiconductors, 반도체의 수요가 많아졌기 때문이다. 자, 조정하다, to adjust. 근데
Yeah, if you're adjusting something, then you're changing it, but probably just in a slight way. I think when you think
Okay.
of a change, it can be big or small, but when I think of an adjustment, I think of the change being more on the smaller end.
yeah, exactly. It's not a huge change, but it's, slightly changing it.
Yeah.
조정하다. But it's upwardly adjusting it here.
Yeah, and upward is a direction. So much like we would have forward, backward, downward, and this would be upward. So it's the adjustment has been in an upward direction.
upwardly라고 하면은 위쪽으로 향하는 뭐 이런 정도의 느낌이죠. 그래서 상향, 조정의 의미로 to upwardly adjust라고 하고 있습니다. 그래서 upwardly가 여기선 부사로 쓰였고 adjust가 동사인데요. 상향 조정을 했다. 반대로 만약에 하향 조정을 했다면은 downwardly adjusted 라고 할 수도 있겠죠. It's not a common expression with business news, but you could say that. We would understand it.
Absolutely.
Now, what about attributed to something or to attribute something to something?
Yeah, and when you attribute something, then you're talking about the reason for which it's happening. So it's the cause of what this is. And often you'll hear attribute compared to attribute, which can be confusing. It's the difference between a verb and a noun. Usually attributes, you're talking about qualities in someone or something, whereas when you attribute, then now you're talking about the reason for something.
자, 여기서는 동사이기 때문에요. attribute 이렇게 발음을 하게 되는데 만약에 명사이면서 이 똑같은 스펠링 attribute를 쓰면 attribute라고 해서 어떤 것의 특징을 얘기합니다. 자, 그거 아니고요. 여기서는 동사니까 attribute A to B. A라는 결과가 나타났는데 그 원인이 B로 보인다. 이런 뜻이에요. 그래서 여기서는 attributing the revision, 수정을 했는데 to higher demand for semiconductors. 반도체 수요가 더 많아졌기 때문에 그것으로 인해서 수정을 하게 됐다. 이 얘기를 여기서 attribute A to B 라고 하는 겁니다. 더 짧게 번역을 한다면은 무언가를 기인한다. 이렇게 얘기하기도 하죠. 원인을 무엇으로 본다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The KDI, or the Korea Development Institute, has upwardly adjusted its growth forecast for the country's economy to 3.2%, attributing the revision primarily to higher than anticipated global demand for semiconductor products. Let's move on to the second headline.
A nationwide 20-minute civil defense drill simulating an air raid will take place today at 2 p.m., requiring citizens to evacuate to nearby shelters and underground areas and drivers to comply with emergency vehicle passage and traffic control measures.
오늘 오후 2시부터 20분간 전국에서 공습 상황을 가정한 민방위 훈련이 실시됩니다. 훈련이 시작되면 모든 국민은 즉시 가까운 대피소나 인근 지하 공간으로 대피하고 운전자는 긴급 차량 길 터주기 및 차량 통제 시범 훈련에 따라야 합니다. Okay, so today at 2 p.m. be prepared to hear some sirens.
Yeah, absolutely. And be prepared on what to do.
Yeah.
And if you have appointments or things set around that time, if you have to be somewhere, even by like 2:30 or 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
then you should probably plan ahead of time to, have some extra time to reach your destination because traffic might be an issue. It's going to be 20 minutes long. So from 2 until 2:20,
Yep.
traffic could very well be at a standstill. So I think people need to prepare for that.
Exactly. And if you're at home or, most of us won't be driving, then you need to go to one of these designated shelters or an underground area. And the way to find that is to simply search it on any of the map applications you have. You might already know it, which is great. But, sometimes people don't really take note of where these shelters are. Well, today would be the day to check it out.
Good to know.
Yeah.
There are 17,000 of them across the country. So there are
Sure.
a lot. So ideally, you probably don't have to go as far as you might think with there being that many of them. So just, keep note. It's one of those things that we probably take for granted and don't think about, but certainly it's a good idea to, keep it refreshed in your mind as of today.
Exactly. If you live in an apartment complex, it's likely going to be an underground area, maybe within the parking lots. But like I said, these areas are designated. They are fixed and decided. So all you need to do is search it and go there today at 2 p.m. 자, 오늘 2시에 민방위 훈련이 실시됩니다. 2시부터 2시 20분까지 20분 동안 실시가 되고요. 훈련이 시작되면은 이런 대피소 아니면 지하 공간으로 대피를 하시면 되고 검색해서 찾으시면 됩니다. 이제 지도 앱에다가 대피소 이렇게 검색하시면 가까운 대피소가 다 뜨거든요. 이렇게 해서 찾으시면 될 것 같고 운전을 만약에 하고 있다. 그러면은 이제 필요에 따라서 길 터주기 또 차량 통제가 되고 있다면 거기에 맞춰서 운전을 하시면 되겠습니다. 자, 이런 훈련을 영어로는 drill이라고 하죠.
Yeah. A drill is something that you kind of practice.
그래서 지금 이거는 이제 civil defense drill, 민방위 훈련이라고 하는데 가끔 우리가 학교에서 소방 훈련도 하잖아요.
Fire drill.
Fire drill이라고 합니다. 자, 그런데 이번에 있을 민방위 훈련은 공습 air raid 상황을 가정한 거예요. It's simulating an air raid.
Yeah, if you're simulating something, then you're trying to make it as if it is that thing. You're making it like that situation. And even if you look at the word simulating, within there, you can kind of see the word simular, kind of being sort of like a base word within there so that, something is similar to an air raid. It's simulating an air raid. It's like an air raid.
이 명사 형태는 잘 아시죠, 여러분? simulation이라고 우리가 외래어로도 쓰잖아요. 근데 이게 동사입니다. 그래서 to simulate 그러면은 모의 실험을 하다, simulation을 하다. 지금 이 경우에는 이런 상황을 가정한 그런 상황을 만들다. 공습 상황이요. 자, 그 다음에는 이제, 우리는, 여러 가지 규칙과 지시에 따라야 하는데요. 그때 뭔가를 따르다 라고 할 때, to comply.
If you comply, then you are doing as you are told. You are reacting in the way that you are ordered to do.
Yeah.
And this is not really used among friends as casual talk. This is one of those things that it's very official.
Yes.
It's something that maybe like a police officer might say, step out of the vehicle and, I don't know, put your hands behind your back or something. Are you going to comply? Or I need you to comply. Or please comply. So do as you're told. But this is in an official sort of way.
And if you don't comply, you could be arrested, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
자, comply라는 게요, 이런 명령이나 규칙에 따르는 것을 얘기합니다. 그래서 무엇에 따르다라고 할 때는 comply with something 이렇게 표현을 하고요. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A nationwide 20-minute civil defense drill simulating an air raid will take place today at 2 p.m. requiring citizens to evacuate to nearby shelters and underground areas and drivers to comply with emergency vehicle passage and traffic control measures.
K-pop group Stray Kids has landed their 9th #1 album on the Billboard 200, which ties them with the Rolling Stones for the second most #1 albums in the chart's history among duos and groups after only the Beatles.
그룹 Stray Kids가 미국 빌보드 메인 앨범 차트 정상에 9번째로 오르면서 비틀즈에 이어 차트 역사상 2번째로 많은 1위 앨범을 보유한 그룹으로 롤링 스톤스와 어깨를 나란히 하게 됐습니다. What an achievement.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of bands or groups, I mean, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones are right up there as probably,
legendary.
Like the greatest of all time. So for the Stray Kids to be mentioned among them, I mean, it's music royalty.
Yeah, definitely. So, what's the album?
The album is a new mini album, to be more specific, and it's called This and That.
All capitalized.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and, the title track, This and That, it debuted at number 38 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart, so the actual song itself. And that is the group's highest ever position on the main singles chart as well, among their 6 overall entries since 2023, which isn't that long ago. So over the last 3 years, they've had 6 songs make the charts in that time, and this is the best starting position yet.
그래요. 앨범 This and That가 빌보드 200에서 1위를 했습니다. 그 다음에 이제 메인 타이틀곡이죠. This and That. 그 노래는 싱글스 차트에서 38위에 올랐습니다. 대단한 그런 업적들이라고 생각이 되고요. 자, 표현을 좀 볼 텐데 이 Stray Kids가 9번째 1위 앨범을 내게 됐다. 9번째 1위를 기록하게 됐다라고 할 때 이 동사가 왜 갑자기 land가 나왔을까요? Land?
Yeah, they landed something, which means that you gained something or received something. Perhaps you earned something as well. And yeah, I don't know why we're using the word landed. I don't know if it's got maybe something to do with a ship arriving somewhere or maybe a plane touching down, because we think of planes landing. Yeah. But yeah, you're gaining something of note.
When you land something. 원래는 이제 landing 하면은 착륙하다 의미가 있잖아요. 비행기에서. 사실 이제 비유적으로 썼을 때는 무언가를 얻었다, 획득하다의 의미가 있어요. 그러다 보니까 이제 Stray Kids가 앨범을 새로 냈는데 이게 1위를 했어요. 그래서 1위 타이틀을 획득했다. 이렇게 볼 수 있겠죠. 근데 그게 첫 번째 1위 앨범도 아니고 Stray Kids 입장에서는 벌써 9번째 1위 앨범이 되겠습니다.
Yeah, so anytime you gain some kind of a significant honor, it could be even like a job. Like, oh, I landed the job that I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, like when you got something that you've been trying to get, perhaps, then you could say, oh, I landed this.
I landed this. 나 이거 얻었어. 이 느낌이고요. 자, 그 다음에는 이게 이제 어떤 캐터고리냐면은 duos and groups 캐터고리에서 앨범을 역사상 2번째로 많이 1위 자리에 올린 그룹이 됐어요. So this category is the duos and groups category.
And anytime we're talking duos, we're talking about 2 people. So like, it's similar to the word duet, right? So a duet is when 2 people do something together, usually singing as an example. But this being duos with an S, we're talking about that in the plural form. So among all the duos and groups that are out there, they were the ones that are making history right now.
Exactly. 듀오라고 하면은요, 2인조라는 뜻이에요. 그래서 2인조 또는 그룹이라는 하나의 캐터고리 안에서 이렇게 좋은 성과를 거두게 됐습니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. K-pop group Stray Kids has landed their 9th number 1 album on the Billboard 200, which ties them with the Rolling Stones for the second most number 1 albums in the chart's history among duos and groups, after only the Beatles. Let's move on to the next headline.
The United Nations Benchmark Food Price Index, which tracks monthly changes in the international prices of globally traded food commodities, edged up in July as recent heat waves and energy price dynamics pushed up quotations for cereals, vegetable oils, and sugar.
전 세계적으로 거래되는 식량 품목의 국제 가격 변동을 추적하는 UN 세계 식량 가격 지수가 최근에 폭염 및 에너지 가격 상승으로 곡물, 유지류, 설탕의 시세가 오르면서 7월에 소폭 상승했습니다. Oh no, food prices going up even more. Tell us more.
Yeah, and certainly the weather has played a significant role in this when we look at the droughts and dryness that's been taking place globally, essentially. So Cereal price index, it jumped 3.4%. That was driven by a 5.8% surge in global wheat prices due to heat waves affecting crop yields and distributions to the Black Sea export flows. So a lot of the weather across Europe has been affecting a lot of the commodity prices and food prices around the world.
Exactly. 헤드라인에 나와 있듯이 폭염도 하나의 이유가 되겠고요. 그 다음에 에너지 가격 상승도 하나의 이유가 되는데 그것 때문에 곡물, 유지류, 설탕의 시세가 올랐습니다. 자, 시세라는 단어 영어로 은근히 어려워요. quotation이죠.
Quotation, yeah. It's what you're expecting the food prices to be, the quotation for cereals, vegetables, and sugar.
그래서 어떤 것에 뭐 가격 견적을 좀 내주세요.
Yeah.
이럴 때도 우리가 Can you give me a quote? A quotation?
Yeah.
그럴 때도 quote를 쓰죠.
Yeah, give me like a rough estimate. Even if it's not the exact price, like just what do you think it's going to be? What's your
Right.
prediction or expectation?
So the word quotation can be what someone said,
Yes.
in quotation marks. But when we're talking about money, then it's the price of something. 그래요. 그래서 경제 컨텍스트에서 quotation, quote가 나왔다. 그러면은 견적, 시세, 가격이라는 뜻이 되겠고요. And then we have something that tracks changes in prices.
Yeah, things that are tracked, it means that somebody is following it, maybe keeping a record of how it's doing or monitoring how it's doing. And if you think of this back in the old days, let's go back 200, 300 years ago, maybe like in the Native Americans, you think, or hunters that might follow an animal to hunt it. What you're going to do is you're going to look at the animal's tracks. You're going to look at its footprints. And by watching its footprints, you are tracking it. You are following this animal to eventually hunt it. In the same sort of way, if you're tracking a stat in in the business field, or you're tracking how an athlete is doing in sports, how a company is doing in the stock market, you're kind of following it. You're monitoring it for whatever purpose needed.
I didn't think of the connection between animal tracks and to track something, but that makes sense.
Yeah, like a hunter-gatherer,
Yeah.
like you would track something. You'd follow it.
자, 동사 to track는 무언가를 추적하다라는 뜻이에요. 그런데 명사 track는 또 동물의 발자국이 될 수도 있습니다. 뭐 바퀴의 바퀴 자국이 될 수도 있겠고요. 그러다 보니까 연결고리가 있네요. 그런 이제 동물의 발자국을 따라가다 보면은 이 추적하는 거잖아요. 그렇게 또 이해를 할 수 있겠습니다. 자, to track something 이라는 게 여기서는 추적하다의 의미로 쓰였습니다. 다시 읽어볼게요. The UN's benchmark food price index, which tracks monthly changes in the international prices of globally traded food commodities, edged up in July as recent heat waves and energy price dynamics pushed up quotations for cereals, vegetable oils, and sugar. Now let's move on to our final headline.
A 30-year study across 204 countries and regions led by Gyeonggi University reveals that insufficient fruit and vegetable intake poses a greater threat to kidney health than high sodium consumption.
30년 동안 204개국 및 지역을 대상으로 진행한 경희대학교 연구에 따르면 과일과 채소 섭취 부족이 나트륨 과다 섭취보다 신장 건강에 더 큰 위협이 되는 것으로 나타났습니다. This is very interesting. So if you have, kidney problems, then eat more fruit and veggies.
Yeah, I think the conventional thought has always been that a high salt diet is the biggest cause of kidney health or kidney disease and stuff like that. I guess alcohol is probably connected as well. But for the most part, I think that's what everyone thought. But now to have this new information that's saying, no, it's actually the lack of fruit or the lack of vegetables. So like eating more fruit, eating more vegetable will actually, help you out quite a bit with your kidneys.
키드니가 신장이죠. 콩팥. 그래서 kidney health, 신장 건강에 위협이 되는 것이 물론 여전히 이제 나트륨 과다 섭취가 안 좋습니다. 그렇지만 그것보다 이 연구에 의하면 과일과 채소를 충분히 섭취하지 않는 것이 더 큰 영향을 미치더라라는 흥미로운 연구 결과예요. 자, 부족하다, 부족분, insufficient가 이제 형용사가 되겠습니다.
Yeah, if something is insufficient, then it means that you don't have enough of something. On the flip side, if you just cut off the in, if you have a sufficient amount of something, then it means that you do have enough of whatever it is that you're talking about.
부족한은 insufficient, 충분한은 sufficient. 그리고 그 명사 형태는 insufficiency, sufficiency. What about posing a greater threat?
Posing a greater threat, it means that it can become a greater threat or a bigger problem. Any kind of a threat is a problem or an issue that can arise from something. And it's saying that this can kind of create that or become that.
You can pose a threat, pose a risk as well. pose 동사와 함께 이런 위협, threat 같은 단어가 종종 같이 붙어 다니는데요. 그럴 때는 더 큰 위협을 가한다. 그 위협을 유발한다 라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. A 30-year study across 204 countries and regions led by Kyunghee University reveals that insufficient fruit and vegetable intake poses a greater threat to kidney health than high sodium consumption. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning.